Hello and welcome back to my channel, Talented Reads. I'm back, baby. Thank you everyone for being patient while I was on my long hiatus. But I am back and ready to make videos for 2024. So today's video is going to be talking about the 2024 new releases that I'm excited about that are coming out in January. Disclaimer, I'm going to put up the published date as I saw it at the time of filming, but those dates obviously could change. Also, I don't really read the full synopsis on books. I'm more of a blurb reader, so that's pretty much what I'll be doing here. So let's get into it. First is Midnight by Amy McCulloch. This is coming out January 2nd, which at this point, the video is coming out after this book already dropped, but I'm still gonna include it because yeah. It says, in this pulse-pounding thriller, a once-in-a-lifetime trip to Antarctica to camp beneath the legendary midnight sun becomes a desperate battle for survival against a killer determined to follow their prey to the ends of the earth. Ooh, I do love a good isolation thriller. I actually read her debut book last year, which was Breathless, which was a mountain climbing kind of stranded book, and I really loved it, and so I'm excited to pick up this one. Next is The Heiress by Rachel Hawkins. This comes out January 9th, which again, at this point, the book's already out by the time this video goes up, but we're still going to talk about it. That's the same thing with all the ones that are coming out on January 9th. New York Times bestselling author Rachel Hawkins returns with a twisted new gothic suspense about an infamous heiress and the complicated inheritance she left behind. There's nothing as good as the rich gone bad. Whew. I think Rachel Hawkins is kind of a staple for January new releases. She's come out with a new one every year these past couple years. I know we had The Wife Upstairs, and then we had, it was The Reckless Girls, and then last year was The Villa. So, at this point, I've only read one of those books, although I've bought all of the ones she's come out with. And I thought it was just okay, but I will always pick up her books, and I like inheritance books, so I'm excited about this one. Next is What Mother Won't Tell Me by Varlon Menger, January 9th. Says, perfect for fans of Abigail Dean's Girl A and Adrian McNinty's The Chain. What Mother Won't Tell Me is a taut Nordic thriller with a folk tale twist about a young girl raised in strict isolation, protected from the cruel people in the outside world, who soon realizes the most dangerous strangers are the ones in the bedroom across the hall. Dun, dun, dun. Yes, this sounds so good. I don't think I've ever read a Nordic thriller, but I like the isolation. This sounds good. So I will be definitely picking this one up. And the last new release for January 9th is One of the Good Guys by Araminta Hall. It says, from the critically acclaimed author of Our Kind of Cruelty and Imperfect Woman comes an urgent psychological thriller about gender, power, and how both are captured in our contemporary media environment. Unexpected and twisty from its first page to its last. One of the good guys asks, if most men claim to be good, why are most women still afraid to walk home at night? I was iffy about this one, but I don't know, like, it still sounds intriguing. I think I might, I don't know, check out reviews and, like, see how this one is faring in the community before picking it up. I think, obviously this commentary is really popular with what's going on in, current social events, but, I don't know, I think it could go both ways. I've seen some commentary in books like this before, and I don't know, I think it missed its mark, but I'm still intrigued. Next is The Fury by Alex Michaelides. This is coming out January 16th. It says it's a masterfully paced thriller about a reclusive ex-movie star and her famous friends whose spontaneous trip to a private Greek island is upended by a murder. Ooh. I'm so excited for this one. I've enjoyed Alex's previous 2 books, and this one has gotten a lot of really good reviews so far. So it's such an interesting idea. It seems a little bit different than the other 2 books that he's come out with, so I'm really intrigued. Next is This Wretched Valley by Jenny Kiefer. This is coming out on January 16th. Take only pictures, leave only bones. This trip is going to be Dylan's big break. Her geologist friend Clay has discovered an untouched cliff face in the Kentucky wilderness, and she is going to be the first person to climb it. Together with Clay, his research assistant Sylvia, and Dylan's boyfriend Luke, Dylan is going to document her achievement on Instagram and finally cement her place as the next rising star in rock climbing. 7 months later, 3 bodies are discovered in the trees just off the highway. All are in various states of decay, but Dylan is still missing, and no trace of her, dead or alive, has been discovered. This dread-inducing debut builds to a blood-curdling climax and will leave you shocked by the final twist. Sounds so good. But I have to admit, the cover always makes me laugh, because, when you look at the cover, there's obviously a person hanging off a cliff, but with the nose of the skeleton, it just looks like a giant booger to me. I don't know. I can't get it out of my head. But, cover aside, this sounds really interesting. Next is Where You End by Abbott Kayleen. Also January 16th. From best-selling non-fiction author comes a spellbinding fiction debut. An unusual form of amnesia upends the lives of identical twins, forcing them to face the dangerous shadow of their past. Intensely creepy and beautifully written, Abbott's Where You End is an unforgettable tale of intrigue, revenge, and the quest for redemption. Sounds good. I think this is going to be an interesting take on the twin theory. I really like books that have twins. I think, the twin theory is such an interesting psychological thing, and I really like the way books kind of portray that, so I'm interested about this one. Next is The Night of the Storm by Nishita Parati. I will learn how to pronounce that when I read this. This is coming out also on January 16th. From debut author, a fresh take on the classic locked room thriller about a multi-generational Indian American family marooned in a house with a murderer during Hurricane Harvey. Yes, love me some good locked room mystery. Love it. I actually did receive an arc of this through NetGalley, so thank you to Dutton Publishing Company for the arc. Next is The Tusks of Extinction by Ray Nalin. This is also coming out on January 16th. When you bring back a long extinct species, there's more to success than the DNA. Moscow has resurrected the mammoth. But someone must teach them how to be mammoths or they are doomed to die out again. So I will say right away, like, I thought of Jurassic Park with this, which I was excited about because I love Jurassic Park. But I've heard some reviews saying it is actually like much different than Jurassic Park. So now I'm intrigued like how this is gonna go because to me that quick blurb is like straight from Jurassic Park. So I'm intrigued. Next is Only If You're Lucky by Stacey Willingham. This is again another January 16th release. From the author of A Flicker in the Dark and All the Dangerous Things comes a tantalizing thriller about the nature of friendship and belonging, about loyalty, envy, and betrayal. Another gripping novel from an author quickly becoming the gold standard in psychological suspense. So I will say I did pick up those other two books, A Flicker in the Dark and All the Dangerous Things, and I really enjoyed those, so I'm excited to see this one from her. Next is An Affinity for Formaldehyde by Chloe Spencer. This is coming out January 19th. Lou, a queer woman, returns to her hometown to stop her grandmother from marrying Lou's childhood best friend. She hasn't visited in several years, and she and her best friend have yet to make peace with the death of his sister. When Lou discovers his grandmother's obsession with taxidermy, she attempts to leave, but her grandmother has a sinister plan in store for Lou. She won't be going anywhere anytime soon. So this is a book that's a new release from Grindhouse Publishing. And that publisher is pretty much like an auto buy for me. I'm really trying to get like their whole catalog of books. But I think this is the weirdest synopsis to me. And now I'm extra intrigued. I mean, it says Lou's grandmother is marrying her best friend. Y'all caught that, right? Did I read that right? That seems weird, right? I don't know. We'll have to see how well that fares for them when I read the book. Next is The Clinic by Kate Quinn, coming out January 23rd. From the critically acclaimed author of Black Widows comes a thriller set in the remote rehab clinic on the Pacific Northwest coast, in which the death of a woman inside prompts her sister to enter the clinic as a patient in order to find the truth. Says it's perfect for fans of Stacey Willingham and Taryn Fisher. Set in the Pacific Northwest, my hometown. Sold. I'm really intrigued by this. I'm almost wondering if this is kind of a retelling of that like true crime clinic, weight loss clinic that was up in the Seattle area. So I'm really intrigued by this one. Next is No One Can Know by Kate Alice Marshall. This is a January 23rd new release. 3 sisters, 2 murders, and too many secrets to count. Bam. What else do you need in a synopsis, you know? Sounds like another solid book from Kate's. Once again, I'm intrigued. Next is Womb City by Claudio Tomasi. This is coming out January 23rd. Says this genre-bending African futurist horror novel blends The Handmaid's Tale with Get Out and an adrenaline-packed cyberpunk body-hopping ghost story, exploring motherhood, memory, and a woman's right to her own body. I mean, this had me at cyberpunk body-hopping ghost story. I mean, come on. How can you pass that up? Sounds so good. Plus I really like this cover. Next is The Invocations by Crystal Sutherland. This is coming out January 30th. From the author of New York Times bestseller House of Hollow comes a darkly seductive witchy thriller where, though both men and demons lurk in the shadows, girls refuse to go quietly into the night. 3 girls and 1 supernatural killer on the loose. Dun, dun, dun. I saw this cover and instantly thought it was a young adult, which I have very mixed feelings with, like, young adult horror. But I don't know. Like, that synopsis doesn't sound too young adultish, does it? Well, either way, it sounds good. And we all need more witchy books in our lives. So, next is Midnight on Beacon Street by Emily Ruth Verona. This is coming out January 30th. In this dazzling debut novel, Emily Ruth moves back and forth in time, retching up suspense and tension on every page. Chock full of nods to classic horror films of the 70s and 80s, Midnight on Beacon Street is a gripping thriller full of electrifying twists and a heartwarming tale of fear and devotion that explores our terrors and the lengths we'll go to keep our loved ones safe. I mean, I think I'm so intrigued because the synopsis, like, it seemed long, but it seems very vague. And some of the reviews I've read have also seemed very vague. So, I don't know. Like, I'm intrigued just because now I need to know, you know? And there's a lot of people saying that, like, it's better if you just go into this not knowing much, which is really how it is if you read the synopsis. Yeah. So, tell me no more. I shall pick it up. All right, and the last one I have for our list is The House of Last Resort by Christopher Golden, which comes out on January 30th. Across Italy, there are many half-empty towns nearly abandoned by those who migrate to the coast or to cities. The beautiful crumbling hilltop town of Bacina is among them, but its mayor has taken drastic measures to rebuild, selling abandoned homes to anyone in the world for a single euro as long as the buyer promises to live there for at least 5 years. It's a no-brainer for American couple Tommy and Kate. Both work remotely, and Bacina is the home of Tommy's grandparents, his closest living relative. It feels like a romantic adventure, an opportunity the young couple would be crazy not to seize. But from the moment they move in, they both feel a shadow has fallen on them. Tommy's grandmother is furious, even a little frightened when she realizes which house they've bought. There are rooms in an annex at the back of the house that they didn't know were there. The place makes strange noises at night, locked doors are suddenly open, and when they go to a family gathering, there are certain people are whispering about them and about their house. Which one neighbor refers to as the House of Last Resort. Soon, they learn that the home was owned for generations by the church, but the real secret and the true dread is unlocked when they finally learn what the priests were doing in this house for those all long years, and how many people died in the strange chapel inside. While down in the catacombs beneath Bacina, something stirs. Ooh. That's a long synopsis. I didn't mean to read the whole thing, but it sounds really good. I've read other two books, The Road of Bones and All Hollows. And I will say one thing I like about Christopher Golden is he knows how to write an atmosphere. And it sounds like this particular plot would do well for that kind of writing. So I'm really intrigued. And oh, I hope we have a good creature feature because I do love that. All right, so that's it for today's video. Let me know in the comments if any of these sound like ones you're going to add to your list, or let me know if you've got any of these on your TBR already. And of course, because we all need more books, also let me know in the comments if you're aware of any new January releases that I didn't have on my list that you think I should check out, because I'm always down for that. I think 24 is going to be a good lineup. I just have a feeling. So, kicking it hard with January and on to the next. Thanks for stopping by, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.